Hi, I'm Daniel McNulty, State Director of the PATINS project in the state of Indiana. And we're here at the PATINS State Conference. We're live streaming a couple really great sessions. One of them is Chris and Beth's session. And so if you go to www.patinsproject.com, you can log into that live session, and once it's recorded and captioned, you can go watch the archived version as well. And you're listening to the A.T.TIPSCAST.
Welcome to the A.T.TIPSCAST, exploring and investigating the implementation of assistive technology in public schools. I'm your host, Chris Bouguet. This is episode 106, recorded on November 20th, 2012. Maggie, my daughter, turned 5 this week. Happy birthday to you, Maggie! Man, I'm so thankful to have her in my life. Speaking of being thankful, have your social media streams been jam-packed with people posting what they're thankful for lately? I know mine have. Many of my friends are participating in a challenge from the start of November until American Thanksgiving, where they attempt to post something new they're thankful for each day. I think they're fun to read, especially when someone throws in something that I wasn't expecting. Still, I didn't really think that activity was for me. Then, the other night, my wife and I were awakened around 3 a.m. by a scratching noise coming from the ceiling directly above our bed. Some creature, most likely a possum, had crawled its way into the attic and was digging furiously at the studs or rafters. I don't know what it was doing. It was like the wood had killed this possum's family, and it wasn't going to stop clawing at it until it had reaped its bloody vengeance. After a few elbows to the ribs, I was finally out of bed grabbing the Swiffer, which, if you don't know, it's kind of like a dry mop. Then I was back in the room, banging the Swiffer into the ceiling, trying to scare the possum away. The possum would stop its assault for a few minutes, just enough for me to lay down, and then it would start scratching again. That's when I realized that the pole on the Swiffer was adjustable. And just like that, I was thankful for adjustable length handles because I didn't have to get out of bed to bang the Swiffer into the ceiling. And that got me thinking there at 3 a.m. in the morning of this A.T.TIPScast episode, which includes A.T.TIPS 300 to 305, which is a list of just some of the things I'm thankful for in the field of assistive technology.
Number 1.
I am thankful for the periodic table of AAC by Kate Ahern. Kate is a person working in the field of assistive technology who writes a very informative blog called Teaching Learners with Multiple Needs.blogspot.com. It's packed full of ideas and strategies for how to work with learners with severe, profound, intensive, significant, complex, or multiple special needs. In a recent blog post, Kate put together a visualization or infographic called The Periodic Table of AAC, where she outlines different facets of augmentative and alternative communication to look like a periodic table. Each element is color-coded into categories, such as guiding beliefs, instructional and implementation tips, communication functions, AAC competencies, adult support tips, and assessment considerations. I'm thankful for the periodic table of AAC because it makes my job easier when explaining these concepts to other educators and to parents. I'll have a link to her blog post featuring the downloadable PDF of the table, which I'm calling A.T.TIP number 300 over at A.T.TIPSCAST.com.
Item number 2.
I am thankful for the idea of core vocabulary. Maybe you notice trends in your own educational practice from year to year, like, geez, I sure have a lot of questions about writing this year, or, man, I sure have tons of requests to look at math skills this year. For me, this year the trend has been about presenting teachers with the idea that using a core set of high-frequency words when beginning an alternative communication system is more effective than sticking a bunch of nouns on a board. Thank you, core vocabulary, which was already A.T.TIP number 87.
Item number 3.
I am thankful for my new homepage. For years, I use Google as my homepage. Whenever I ask teachers or students what their homepage is, I get one of two responses. Either it's Google or it's their school's website. The thing is, this is rarely efficient because all too often teachers and students don't really need the information on their own website. I mean, that would be like having the A.T.TIPScast be my homepage. It's okay, and I need to go there every once in a while, but it's just not that efficient for what I need on a day-to-day basis. So I've changed my homepage from Google to be Symbaloo.com. That's Symbaloo.com. Symbaloo.com. This website allows you to customize your homepage with many different tiles surrounding a center window. There are 52 tiles arranged in a 10 by 6 grid on the screen. By default, my center window has the Google search in it, so I still have access to the Google search on my homepage. The layout sort of reminds me of a communication board with symbols laid out in a grid for easy access. Each of the tiles are links to frequently used websites like A.T.TIPSCAST.com, nightlightstories.net, lcps.org/at, my Facebook page, my Twitter page, my calendar, our online IEP system, our internal assistive technology tracking system, and more. Everything I use on a daily basis. Besides links to websites, I can upload documents and link to those as well. Also, this is just my first tab. Symbaloo allows you to have multiple tabs across the top of the page. In this way, teachers and students could have a tab with a Symbaloo grid for each class. I'm thankful I made the switch to Symbaloo as my new homepage, and that's why I'm calling it A.T.TIP 301. I hope you consider it for you and your students as well.
Item number 4.
I am thankful for online professional development opportunities like PATINS TV. Recently, I was fortunate enough to be invited to present and attend the PATINS conference in Indiana by Daniel McNulty, who you heard at the bumper at the beginning of this podcast. Thank you very much, Daniel. Beth Poss and I presented on Web 2.0 tools that could be used to foster universal design for learning principles. PATINS live streamed both of our presentations, and I know there were people out there watching from all around the country. How cool is that? PATINS is in the process of captioning the recording right now. Once they're finished, you'll be able to watch those presentations too over at bit.ly/patinstv. That's bit.ly/patinstv. By the way, Beth and I aren't the first people to be on PATINS TV. They have videos on all sorts of different topics related to assistive technology. I highly recommend you check them out. I bet you'll find that you'll be thankful for PATINS TV too, and that's why I'm calling it A.T.TIP number 302.
Item number 5.
I am thankful for open websites that share free visuals like openclipart.org and soundgoal.com. OpenClipArt.org is a large repository of searchable images licensed under Creative Commons. Soundgoal is sort of similar, but for royalty-free sounds. I'm thankful for sites like this because I can find visuals for presentations and sounds like these for podcasts. For this reason, I'm calling OpenClipArt A.T.TIP number 303 and soundgoal.com A.T.TIP number 304. I'm thankful not only because I can use these sites for podcasts and presentations, but so can other educators and students.
Item number 6.
I am thankful for the EduBlog Awards. That's right, it's that time of year again when the EduBlog Award nominations are being submitted. And like I've done in the past few years, I wrote a blog post over at A.T.TIPSCAST.com nominating different podcasts, blogs, wikis, and other resources for the 2012 EduBlog Awards. Who did I nominate this year? Well, check it out over at A.T.TIPSCAST.com. I really enjoy the EduBlog Awards because the short lists of nominees and the resulting winners provide an extremely useful list of active web resources vetted by other educators. Thanks a lot, EduBlog Awards, and that's why I'm calling you A.T.TIP number 305. You can learn more about the EduBlog Awards by going to edublogawards.com. And finally,
Item number 7.
I am thankful for the listeners of the A.T.TIPScast. That's right, I'm thankful for you. It may be sappy and maybe it's an overused cliche, but it really is true. To me, time is the most precious commodity. We never get that back. So I thank you for choosing to spend your time listening to the A.T.TIPScast.
7 things? That's it, Dad? That's all you're thankful for?
Oh no, I'm thankful for a lot more than that. But I know the listeners of the A.T.TIPScast are thankful for shorter episodes. Before signing off, I wanted to remind everyone that AT to Go, the app to help people conduct AT evaluations and consultations, is on sale now in the App Store. You can learn more by going to bit.ly/ATeval2go. That's bit.ly/ATeval2go. I hope you check it out. Also, I wanted to remind you that Beth Poss and I will be working with educators to share ways to spread the practice of universal design for learning around their districts during a pre-conference down in Orlando, Florida at the Assistive Technology Industry Association Conference on January 29th and January 30th, called Mission Possible, Proliferating a Culture of Universal Design for Learning. Registration is now open. You can read all about it and sign up over at bit.ly/missionatia. That's bit.ly/missionatia. I mean, it's Florida in January, and we're going to be talking about stuff that will help you all year long and into the future. What could be better? Until next time, may all your strategies be supportive, may all your interventions be inclusive, and may you all have a happy Thanksgiving.